A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything.
I mean, I guess we're living in a world now where people are just okay with full weeks and a half, 2 weeks of their lives being ripped away from them. Because they're like, my body, my choice. I don't want to wear a mask. So I'll just, when I die, I'll look back and be like, remember that whole week where you could have been with your family? No, you were alone in your room because enough people didn't believe in science and it wasn't worth it for them to wear a mask. And that's what COVID is. Like us just being like super cool with like having your life on pause.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything. You have to stay away from everyone. It's crazy that we're still at this point. And I hear whatever the current variant is like awful and you can get reinfected with it a week later. It just keeps getting worse and worse.
Nobody cares. Like in Vegas, it was just like somebody had opened the barn doors and animals were just out. Like, and what's even more fucked up is that like I got it, the hotel manager got it, my stepmom got it, my dad, nothing. Sleeping in bed with my stepmom, nothing. Some people just are cool, but it would stand to reason, of course, if you're a woman, of course the worst thing happens.
Do people know you have COVID?
I have COVID.
Is that okay? Let's make that part clear.
Like a registered sex offender. I have COVID.
I know. It really does. You say it and you're like, well, now anyone else can blame this on me forever. If anyone who came into contact, it's like when you fix someone's laptop and then forever they're like, something's not working right. What did you do?
But it's you're like, extra fucked up because nobody that I came in contact with has it. I'm like, who's that diseased motherfucker that like blew at me and I got it and like nobody else? Like I was getting my ears pierced forever and like they're all fine. Everybody's fine. But, you know, this is a world we're living in where people are just like okay with like rights being taken away from other. Like everyone's just okay with like this horrible world that's materializing. And we're like, oh, well, at least I have my Netflix. Which I didn't watch at all. I only watched TikTok. I'm so livid. I was like so prepared for today to be the last day.
And you tested positive again this morning?
I did.
So what does that mean? Does that mean another 5 days of winter?
It means it's in you, but it doesn't mean you're communicable.
You are also not communicative because you're mad.
And it means, who fucking knows what it means? All of these little markers, like you could spread it, but you can't, but you've got it, but you're fine, but you feel okay, but you don't have it. So stay inside, wash your hands, but don't take a shit. Like, I took all these rapid tests at my house. I took 5 of them and they were all negative. But I didn't take them again once I was positive. So I don't have like a control group. So who knows?
You're running some bad science over there.
Bad science. Anyways. And it like in a weird way, it's a good week to do it because like all of LA was on vacation, which like no one told me, but that's cool. So nothing was really happening, but it's still just like, I'm disgusted how much TikTok I watched. I didn't watch one TV show. I just watched TikTok and read and stared at the dog.
I mean, reading's good. Now, is the dog allowed to go between the healthy and the unhealthy?
Yeah, the dog's allowed, but she stays with me because Tibetan Spaniels are loyalists to the crown, and I have the crown.
As you record from your Tianfu chair, it looks like you skinned her to make the chair that you're sitting in.
All right. Skinning is a little aggressive, but yeah, she's around.
Okay, as you gently plucked her skin off her body.
A gentle plucking. I was so bored and alone last night that I Googled like Tibetan Spaniel features. They're very loyal.
Did you also Google Chinese mountain dog?
No, because she's mostly Tibetan Spaniel, and they're very willful and stubborn. They say they're
She's
smart. I don't know.
willful.
Yeah, she's like, I got my own ideas. Anyway, nobody wants to hear about someone else's dog. I get it. And we're here, folks. We're here. Oh, wow. I just recorded this entire intro in a voice memo note to you, and I erased it. Anyways, I COVID in Vegas, but tell you what, I'm going to be all cleared up, and I'm coming to see you in Louisville and Indianapolis and 2 shows at the Ryman in Nashville this weekend. So by the time you're hearing this, just know I won't be checking in because that'll be a Wednesday, but I'll be on my way the next day.
When's your special taping?
July 23rd in Cleveland.
Okay, perfect.
See you guys. If you're a fan, wear your best homemade costume, and you might be in a little thing we're doing for Netflix. So come on out. Here we go.
Are there a couple tickets left for
Let's be
people
honest.
to get?
Most of our listeners
or
are
2?
Canadian. I know that. There's always tickets. There's always tickets for those who believe. And now it's time to answer your questions because this is my only form of communication with the outside. Okay.
KT6093 says, Hi, Eliza. My husband and I had the best time at your show in Charlotte. You and Hunter were amazing. Hopefully I'm submitting this question correctly. As a millennial, I really should be better at navigating social media. Let me clear this up real quick from Emily. You can comment on our most recent posts if you want to, or you can DM. And if you DM, you will be anonymous unless you say, do not make me anonymous, call me blank. Otherwise, you will be anonymous.
Some people are like, I don't care if everyone knows it's me. Hey, it's me, Tim.
Right? Okay. I'm having a dilemma about a trip I'm taking in a few weeks. I'll be seeing a pair of my closest friends. Let's call them A and B. We are all in our early 30s and have been friends since middle school. A has been having an affair with a married man for almost 3 years. At the beginning, I tried to convince her that she had more respect for herself and deserved better, but my efforts were useless, so I gave up. I made my opinion clear about it, and we agreed to disagree. A seems very invested in a future with him and talks about him often. Here's my issue. The last time I was in town, A had only just started seeing him and asked me not to tell B that he's married. Years later, she still hasn't told B this detail and asked me again not to tell. What do I say if B asks me what I think of him? I don't want to betray A's trust, but I also don't want to lie about my feelings. I think he's garbage, and I'm sad that A is wasting her time waiting for him to leave his wife, which he claims he can't do because she won't agree to a divorce. Who knows? Maybe he is actually a cool guy, but any good thing A has said about him to me has always been overshadowed by the fact that he is cheating on his wife. What would you do in this situation? Pretend you don't really have much of an opinion on him if asked, or be honest that you think he's trash and out the secret that he is married?
Oof. You know, it's kind of telling if she doesn't, like, she knows it's wrong. I mean, can you just not be friends with this person in the first place? That's a tough one. What do you do?
Why is she?
I guess
B is a less close friend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's, given that this has nothing to do with like a sexual relationship, I don't know that it's your secret to tell. Can you say to B when she's like, what do you think of him? Be like, I don't like him. You have to ask A why and let her deal with it. Or do you just shrug it off to like mitigate the amount of drama?
I think you could just say, I don't like him, but I think you also say to A, like, hey, A, the 3 of us are going away together. If you're going to be talking about your relationship, which it sounds like that's all you do, maybe let B know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's fair. Put as much of this on A as possible. And then when B's like, hey, like, I've got a question, like, how do you like him? You could just be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do like that, though. If you don't want us to ask about him, like, don't talk about him. Although it's kind of hard to do. Be like, what happened to the guy you were dating? Your friend sounds like
he's
trash,
married.
though. Oh, God.
I know. You're saying this guy is so gross because he's cheating. It's like your friend's pretty gross as well.
The friend's grosser, but your friend's gross, too, because she knows it's bad. It's not like I would have more respect if she was like, yeah, he's cheating on his wife. Like, we are going to be together. Like, there is a version where you might be, but the fact that she's hiding it means she knows this is bad. Like, she's not even all in. She's not. Yeah. There's no she doesn't even have like righteous indignation. She's like, let's just not talk about it because I don't want to hear it versus just like defending her love. So yeah. Ask her. How bad do you feel about lying to B?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it sounds like A is one of those people that she's just talking about all the time. Be like, look, let B know what's up because otherwise this is going to be an awkward trip for all of us.
Yeah. I don't know that it's your secret to tell, though.
No. I mean, it depends. Are A and B only hang out together because they both know you?
Yeah, how close of a friendship is this? Can you skip the trip? It just sounds awful. Oh,
Just hang out
God.
with them separately.
It does gross me out. I'm sorry. Girls that like sleep with married guys. Like, you also, I have like less respect for my friend. I'm like, oh, you're not that smart. Got it. Oh, you think he won't do this to you? Also, why doesn't anybody pay attention? It's always the same lies. She won't agree to a divorce. She's a bitch. She won't sleep with me. We're headed for divorce. It's like when you are unhappy, like unless there's like billions of dollars at stake or you can't afford it, like divorces happen.
Yeah.
Guys always say, not all guys, but it's always the same story. Oh, God. Some girls can be so dumb. Not as dumb as COVID or people who don't believe in science. Anyway.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
I know being thankful is on everyone's minds, and with thankfulness comes gratitude, a concept that honestly really bothers me. I'm tired of thanking everyone else. You know who deserves a thank you? Me. You deserve a thank you. When's the last time you thanked yourself? Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are doing the absolute best we can. So here I am reminding you to send some thanks to the people in your life, but mostly send some thanks to yourself. And a great way to do that is with therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. You don't have to travel anywhere. They take the hassle out of finding that perfect therapist. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Iliza today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Iliza. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Miss Mischief 420. Question. How do you show interest to someone who wouldn't consider you otherwise? I had a long conversation about I know you hate them, deep dive bumper sticker on my car. And in the end, the guy left. Short of asking him out, what do I do? No, I don't want to ask him out. I will end up with a bitch
I don't understand
man.
This question.
Context.
I don't understand
I'm a
this
nerd.
question.
So how do you you meet someone,
I
they're
don't
talking
wanna-
to you about your bumper sticker.
I don't want to end up with a bitch man.
I think this person has they don't want to ask the guy, this girl doesn't want to ask the guy out.
Why
They're
am
saying
I,
if they
why
ask the
does-
guy out, the guy is the bitch man.
Why does this sound like a talk to text? Like, why doesn't this question flow? Like, none of that. That all sounded like you were translating from English to Japanese to German back to English. Like, nobody understood what you just said. I don't even care if I have COVID head.
Okay, here's the breakdown.
I'm ready.
If a guy talks to you at your car about your bumper sticker, it seems like a guy that wouldn't necessarily go for you. You're a nerd. He has tattoos.
Okay.
And you don't want to ask him out. What's the solution? I don't think there is one. You either ask him out or you can't
What are you talking
trick him
about?
into asking you out.
So if you're a nerd and he has tattoos, never the twain shall meet. What are you
I
talking
think they're
about?
just saying this is like a guy that normally wouldn't go for me. And I saw him and we had a conversation and he didn't ask me out.
Okay.
And I don't want to ask him out. How do we go out? You don't, right?
I think-
you have to ask him out.
Yeah, I think that's that. What's wrong
Yeah.
with asking him out? Big deal.
I think that doesn't matter. I doubt any guy who is worth anything isn't going to be like, ew. And if you think he's a bitch man for getting asked out by you, that's on you. That's your baggage.
There's no problem asking. Maybe he's intimidated by you. Maybe you're a beautiful dork. Men tend to not strike up conversations with women they don't find attractive. Like if it's about a bumper sticker, and I get it's like, oh, we can't just talk. No, you can't. You don't tend to do that. So that's the way of the world. I don't think it's a problem to ask him out. Maybe he's nervous.
Yeah, we're all dying. Just ask him out.
Fucking who cares? And he's just see if he strikes up another conversation with you. And then be like, do you want to go out? How would you like to go down on me? What?
Just stand outside by your car and wait. Just stand by your bumper sticker and point at it.
Put your
and
foot
wait
up
for
on
someone
the
else to-
fender and crush your arms and smoke a cigarette and be like, tell me about it, stud. Doom, 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 doom. Also, you need to, that's a weird DM. I am not bitch woman. I am waiting for man. Tattoos, no. Nerd, yes. Maybe come okay.
Amy Z. Smith 565. Look, these are all the people willing to say their names. Hey, Iliza and gang. Should I tell a pregnant mother of two that I slept with the father of her children? I didn't know about her or the kids or her pregnancy when I got, that in all caps, ensnared. Background. I'm a 22-year-old female in the U.S. Army. I mentioned my job because military personnel are famous for cheating, particularly fathers. Anywho, I had just gotten out of a 3-year relationship and I meet this guy that seems great on paper. Charming, single, at least that's what he told me, and we get along really well. One thing leads to another and we're sleeping together. I then got suspicious of his behavior and found out he has a longtime pregnant girlfriend of 5+ years and 2 very young children.
She's been pregnant for 5 years?
Yes. She's very sick. Do I tell her and risk destabilizing a home for 2 young kids and 1 on the way, or do I just move on? Either way, I've cut my losses. I just feel sick knowing that he probably does this on every deployment while he's about to have 3 kids with this woman that has no idea he's a scumbag. There's your answer.
That's tough.
Tell her.
I don't know.
Tell
No.
her.
Why? I'm not saying no. I'm just kind of like, yeah.
So she can cut her losses before she has any more kids with this guy.
No, I don't think it's like we only had 3 kids, but if we had 5, I'd be like, I don't know, but 3, oh well. I think it's tough. I think you're not wrong because you're like, oh, it's this, and probably maybe she doesn't work and this is the main income. I mean, he's still going to be responsible for those kids. That's tough. I also want to warn you about one thing. And this is something that I talk about in my special. So of course now it's more in the ether. Physical retaliation and retribution against women when they stand up for themselves and others. This is the reason when girls are like, this guy catcalled me and I got in his face. Absolutely not. Men are typically the more physically violent ones and they are bigger and stronger. And this guy sounds like a real piece of shit. You don't know. I mean, I'm not making this up that like men often take situations into their own hands and like, you don't know this guy's mental history and you don't know what he's capable of. What if you tell his girlfriend that and she chews him out and he comes and he finds you and he beats you up? or he like physically retaliates. He's like, and he'll look at it like, you messed up my home life. You're a bitch. You're a home wrecker. I would just be very careful because you might be doing this girl a solid. That girl might turn it on you. That girl might tell him, he'll be like, she's obsessed with me. I don't know why she reached out to you. I just think it's about protecting yourself. And it's unfortunate, but it just feels unsafe.
Wait 6 months and then send a letter or an email from a random email address.
No, that doesn't matter.
By then he'll have slept with another girl and it won't be traced back to you.
Maybe. Or it will be. Or you're the only one. He'll still know he did it with you. I just tread lightly. There are consequences. It's not that it's fair. He's completely wrong. But some guys have a way of turning it around so that you're wrong. You're the bitch. They're the victim. So just be careful. You're not infallible.
Yeah.
That's all. My number one safety is your concern.
I just want this woman at home to have all the information. But definitely, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't, you need to put your safety first. Maybe she's having a great time at home. She's like, good, he's deployed again. We don't have to have any more babies.
Yeah, that's awful. And deep down, I always ask her, say this, is the deep down, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, is the reason you want to tell her because you're protecting her or you feel betrayed? Do it for the right reasons, but just be careful. That's all I can say. I can't say do it or don't do it. Because this isn't like you're in college, your boyfriend cheated, you're letting the girl know. This is the military. This is real life. This man definitely owns a gun. Just be careful.
Fair.
Yeah, fair.
Anonymous. Hey, Liza and friends. I have a question about ghosting. Context. I finally met a guy on Bumble who seemed like he has his head on straight. I'm 33 female. He is 37 male. We texted for a few days, even talked on the phone for over an hour. It was going so well, and we formed a great connection. He asked me out, and we agreed on Saturday. It was Tuesday at the time.
Oh, too far.
He proceeded to text me the rest of the week, good morning text and everything. Then the day of the date rolls around and radio silence. Boom. Ghosted. I'm obviously confused and hurt, and a part of me wants to call his ass out or say something like, did it feel good to ghost me? He's the one that was pursuing me and didn't even have the respect to let me know he changed his mind. I didn't end up texting him again, but I'm curious, what would you do? Do we call these ghosters out on their shit or let them have control and just let it go? Thanks, and you are a rock star.
You met on Bumble.
Mm-hmm.
You're the same age.
He's a little older.
And you talked on the phone. You heard his voice. He didn't sound like a robot. Over an hour. And then every day he texted you. And then Saturday,
good morning.
Nothing.
Right. So I'm assuming Friday he was texting like, hey. And then Saturday, nothing. He got scared and he got backed out.
That's so fucking
now
gross.
He's crying somewhere.
It's also, we've decided in our society, somehow you're weak for having feelings. Somehow there is a version where it's pathetic if you reached out to be like, hey, I thought we were going out.
Yeah.
I think there's a version. Part of me is like, okay, did you say something? I mean, I'm not saying he's right, but did you reveal something on Friday? Did you say something? If you were texting Friday, is there a version where you can reach out to Bumble and be like, I think this guy's just here to waste people's time? You can get someone banned because you might find that he does that.
I must have seen on Reddit. I don't think a friend told me. I don't talk to friends. I must have seen on Reddit where somebody was going on a date. They had a Bumble, and then the guy just didn't get back to him. And that night, she's like, Are we on at 3 p.m.? And he was like, no, I made other plans because I didn't hear from you this morning to reconfirm. And she's like, we had a time and place. So I think everybody's operating under these weird sets of guidelines and how online dating should go. And yet, it's you guys are not compatible.
No, you're not compatible. Somebody that's that weird. Look, obviously this guy is one of two things. Either A, a total fucking psycho, B, a child, or C, doesn't really exist and you got catfished. Can you reverse image search him? Can you find his other social media? Make sure this person's real. And if it looks weird, report it to Bumble. Be like, this is a fake account. But either way, who fucking cares? What could
he's dead.
He could have died. I always think that, but it's never true, unfortunately. Here's my thing. Let's say you reach out. Women always have this thing where I'm going to speak to him and be like, you know what? You're a fucking child. Men don't care. No man is like, wow, she called me immature and an asshole. I guess I really am. People that are this fucked in the head, there's something wrong. It's a vendetta against women. They hate themselves. There's nothing you could say that's going to make him feel bad. And there's nothing he is going to say that's going to make you feel better. Because anything that sounds like remorse will be a lie. Like, oh, my aunt got sick, whatever. You certainly, if he came back and he was like, hey, I just got nervous. I still would love to see you. You don't want to see this person. It's a date. You're not asking him to walk a tightrope across a bunch of alligators. So verify this person does this a lot, report it, but don't waste your breath. You can send him a DM and be like, dude, that's a really fucked up way to be in this world. I hope you don't get your fucking block knocked off. I mean, there's just a way to be like, I hope you feel cool about standing me up. Sounds great. Good luck not dying. I don't know, but whatever you do, make sure you close that door because you're not interested in whatever you say. If you choose to say it, no.
Unless he messages you and says, I was in the hospital.
He's not going to. It doesn't happen, by the way. No, it doesn't happen. So that's it. Whatever you say, just make sure you have the last word because you're not interested in his response. Because he'll be like, see, I thought you were a bitch anyway. Like, there was this girl on TikTok that was talking about how and I always think this is weird too when girls are like, I'm done with dating. It's like, well, fine, that seems a little short-sighted. But she was like, I'm not interested in dating men anymore. And all these guys were like, you're going to die alone. And she was like, yeah, I know. I'm not interested. Like, their biggest counterpoint to her being like, I want to be alone is then you're going to be alone. And she's like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So go looking for dumb answers. You're going to get them.
Yeah.
It's all about how it makes you feel. I wouldn't waste my breath. This person sounds like a total psychopath. And most guys are fucking gutless. And have COVID. Go on.
Hi, Liza and Emily. Surprise, it's another dating question. I am a 30, have my own place, and work as a chemist. I've taken the past 2.5 years to work on myself and just do whatever I wanted after a bad breakup. I'm just now starting to actually try dating again. I've been intermittently dating during the 2.5 years, but took a lot of breaks too. I've met a guy and we seem to have similar goals / lifestyle, but he doesn't want to be exclusive at the moment. We've only been talking for a month, and he's really great at communication. He was the one who asked my opinion on exclusivity. I told him that would be something I want in the future, but we would discuss it before. I wouldn't just expect it from him without talking. Seems like we are reading the same book, but on different chapters. I don't plan on waiting for him to change his mind, and we'll pursue other people as well, but still enjoy spending time with the current guy. I was wondering what you would do in this scenario. Would you still go on dates with the current guy, even though he doesn't want to be exclusive with anyone at the moment? I'm 100% not going to wait for him. I know what I want, and I'm no longer afraid to ask for it. Just curious what your take is on it as well. I've only been going out for a month.
How many times have you gone out? And have you slept together?
We've only been talking for a month.
You haven't gone out yet?
I assume they've gone out, but not for a month. They started talking on a dating app, I'm assuming, a month ago.
I don't know. We don't have enough details. I think exclusivity, it depends on the kind of person you are. I don't like to sleep with multiple people. So let's say you've slept together. I think it's totally cool to ask for exclusivity. I mean, you're saying, what am I missing here? You're saying you're still going for other people. Look, you want to be in an exclusive relationship. This guy is waiting to see if something better comes along. And if you're okay with that, then be okay with it. But don't him and haw about it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
You're saying like, oh, you've made up your mind, but you just want to see what Iliza says. Well, that's because you want to make sure that you made the right choice, which is fine. I think everybody wants some sort of validation, but it's like, I'm not surprised that after just a month of talking, this guy doesn't want. Also, he brought up exclusivity, and then you were kind of like, "Oh, I don't, I want it," and he was just like, "Oh, okay, well then fine, we don't need to do that right now." The situation might be different if you asked for it.
I also don't know what you're doing. Like, have you only gone to dinner? Have you slept together? Like, I need more info. If you've been sleeping together for a month, it is more than normal to be like, I'd like to be exclusive. Even I've always said to guys, like, even just from, and I continue to say to men, even just from a health and safety standpoint. But never forget that you are worth something and you'd like to meet someone who's so into you that they would like to explore the options with you, not date around and just see. And it's not that it has to be immediate fireworks with someone, but what he's saying is like, I'd like to just kind of, and you're both kind of playing both sides of the fence. But I don't know if you're sleeping together or not. A month? Is that a month every night? Is that once a week? Let us know.
Yeah.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. Like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
All right, folks. I've decided to, a lot of people, they write in their questions and, we have fun, we tee off, but I was like, what if there was a question that had no real emotional stakes because we don't know the person? So turning our eyes to Reddit, the Am I the Asshole, AIA. So it's
AITA.
Fine. It's AITA. Since when do we include the in an acronym? But whatever. It's AITA on AIA.
Especially because everybody submitted that mini Mickey, like multiple people submitted that question. So we would if you have a question you want Iliza to weigh in on from Reddit, send it. I personally am scrolling through AITA on both top and controversial every night in my bed. But if you see one, send it our way.
So basically, I think this is a great way to gauge the social temperature of the temperature of a society. And this way we can all fucking weigh in. No one's going to feel bad. Everybody loved the Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse question, so we're ready. It's AITA on AIA, ATM. Here we go.
AITA for refusing to sing a song I've written for my girlfriend on my sister's wedding. I'm a sucker for music and songwriting. I haven't written many songs, let alone record, but I had good inspiration. I wrote a very touchy one for my girlfriend, who I've been with 3 years. I even synthesized music for it, and I want to record it and personally give it to my girlfriend since it's special for us. My family asked me to play them this song since it's the first song that I've finished, and I did. My sister was very touched, and she asked me to play that song on her wedding day for her and her husband.
Oh.
I said I can try making another song for them if I have the time and inspiration, but I don't want to play this one because it's personal for me and my girlfriend. It's about our relationship.
It's about sex. It's about sex with your girlfriend. Ew.
She insisted that it's not a big deal and she wants me to play the song. I said, I don't want to. It's personal. She then pulled the, it's my wedding card. I'm your sister. Can't you do me this favor? Can't you make your sister happy? I said again, no. I told her I'd try to write one for her and her husband, but I'm not playing mine. Plus, it would be more touching for me to write their own song. She and my parents then proceeded to claim that it would be more appropriate for me to sing that song for my sister and her husband on their wedding day since they've officiated their relationship and are not just boyfriend and girlfriend. That hit the nail on the head for me, and I said, you know what? Fuck you all for what you're doing. This isn't fair at all, and the fact that you're undermining my relationship to make a point is shitty. My parents, my sister, and her husband are now bugging me about this. They say I'm a very selfish person who can't do his sister a small favor and how I'm very uptight about this. AITA.
Oh my God. Why is this such a weird... That's so creepy that your sister's like,
it's so creepy.
That song about passionate lovemaking with your girlfriend, I need it. I need it.
There's There's no way it's good. I'm sorry to this
There's
man
no way.
or whoever wrote this question who said inspiration struck and he synthesized his own music and he barely ever records. There's no way. It's so incredible.
The second you said it, I was like, the song's terrible. There's no way. It reminds me of that episode of The Office where Jan Levinson Gould she's like dating Hunter and he has that song about the first time they had sex. Make me a man. There's no way it's good, period. Let's say it's even somewhat good. Your sister is being a bitch.
She wants it not because of the song, but because she doesn't like that there's a song about someone else.
Yeah, it's super weird. You are not the asshole, and it's really sexually creepy that she wants to have her first dance to a song written about being like balls deep in your girlfriend.
Especially because all the other family members are like, well, this would be more suited for married people and not just boyfriend and girlfriend. It's like, what is happening in this song? They're like, this is only about people who are officially together under the eyes of the Lord.
It's weird. It's all super weird. And you should say to your sister, it's a song about another woman. I mean, all songs are, but
yeah,
that is very weird. And now she's digging her heels in because she's just like, it's my day, which is, it's your day within the context of the wedding. You can't like crash the UN and be like, it's my day. So I'd like to dissolve the Geneva Convention.
Okay.
It's your day within the walls of the Sheraton for 6 hours.
That really is. I mean, I also subscribe to the subreddit wedding shaming. Like, people get so berserk around weddings. It's very thrilling. Also, I love it.
Yeah, there's no way that song is good. Poems, songs, original dances. It's all so weird.
But I also love that this guy is so committed to like the magic of it all that he's like, I'll write you guys a song if inspiration strikes.
Should inspiration strike, just send me some nudes of you and Ralph and I'll write it. No, your sister's a nut.
And I have one other short wedding one that I think is very funny. But some of these questions, you know, you read them and it's so clearly that the person is not the asshole. So you're like, you just wrote this in because it's like a good story, not because you actually want someone to weigh in. But just following Mickey and Minnie, I thought this was critical to know that people like this are out here. WIBTA, which is would I be the asshole? There's also, you know, questions about possibility. If my spouse and I had just appetizers for our wedding guests, but a full roast chicken for ourselves, we're trying to save money where possible for the wedding ceremony and are using Publix for the catering.
Okay.
Do you know what Publix is in California?
I know what Publix is. It's a grocery store chain.
It's like a Ralph's, a Kroger,
They have them in Florida. I know that. And people love the Publix bakery.
They do, and they have like a decent sandwich, like
whatever.
Lunch
It doesn't
sandwich.
matter. Catering is catering. So, okay.
Yeah. My wife thinks the guests will be...
Did you just say they have a decent large sandwich?
No, lunch sandwich.
Oh, okay. As opposed to...
As though that's different than dinner. Like, you wouldn't go there for like a hot Italian sub, but you go there and you get like a turkey on like white.
You have your order. Don't act like you don't have your order at Publix. Okay.
My wife thinks the guests will be okay just eating finger foods such as fruit and vegetable trays, assorted cheeses, wings, chicken tenders, but she knows she'll be hungry and won't be satisfied with just those. She wants just her and I to also have a roast chicken at the table. I think some sides too. I think it would be incredibly rude to have an openly much better meal than our guests would have, us tearing apart a full bird while they munch on tenders. Conversely, I'd be perfectly fine with just the appetizers for everyone, us included. The cost for every table to get a roast chicken would put us at like $30 a plate, according to her, and that's not saving money. With every decision we make, she justifies them by saying, it's our wedding, it's ours, not anybody else's. She didn't want to have a wide variety of options to cater to others either. She only wanted stuff she'd like. I think we'd be total assholes to go through with her idea thoughts.
That is so horrid to be like, we're getting the full bird. You only get strips of the bird. But it's so disgusting to eat a full meal and be like, the guests should be fine. Why would they be fine and you wouldn't be?
They're eating a vegetable and ranch tray from the supermarket, and these guys are like tearing off a wing.
Not only that, these are appetizers, so they will be whetting their appetite. These people will be ravenous and they will eat your face. That is so tacky. The better move would be for you to not have chicken at all and just do heavy apps, okay? That is so rude and so... The point is, for that matter, why don't you just have people come in handcuffs and just sit there and watch you dance? What is wrong with people?
I just love the idea that this bride is like, let them eat tenders, but I'm too hungry for that. It's like, are you hungrier than like your uncle Ralph?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I know I won't be satisfied. No. Chickens for
They
all.
won't be either.
And at the very least, if you can't afford that, appetizers for everyone. And if she is really that ravenous, she can pack a sandwich in her pocket and go to the bathroom and eat it. But that is so rude.
Well, and I know like Publix, I feel like it's like light foods. It's like, right, it's like chicken tenders, it's like little sandwiches, it's like little fruits and veggies. Get some like pot stickers and heat those up. Get some, like hit a Trader Joe's. Like if you're doing a grocery store catering, there are ways to make it feel like get a bunch of pinwheel sandwiches that they
you know
have.
What? They can figure it out. Here's what you do. Tell her to get a vitamin IV drip hooked up and she can just have that attached to her the whole ceremony. So she's getting filled with nutrients and everybody else can fuck off. This woman doesn't deserve a wedding. That's so tacky and weird and gross. But I think at the very least, hey, heavy past apps, no dinner. And that's that. You don't eat in front of your guests and don't give them food. That's so weird.
I'll make it a chocolate fountain at my wedding and put like a guard at it and be like, no one else can use it besides me. And then just stick my hands in there like I'm Augustus Gloop.
And the groom was never heard from again because he found the chocolate fountain.
He's in there.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so those are not our listeners. Those are internet listeners, but not listeners.
Thus concludes AITA on AIA. Okay, back to the hard-hitting questions.
Hi, AIA crew. I'm a 30-year-old woman working in a male-dominated field. I was recently promoted at work. I have a supportive network of women of all ages at my company, and one of the older women is someone I've always considered a mentor. She's a manager and still above me hierarchically, though not my direct report. I guess I'm not her direct report. She's always talked me up to other people and been willing to impart wisdom and teach me to do new things. I admire her, and I try to return the favor by showing her things I can do with software and by talking her up to coworkers. The only source of tension in the past has been that she insists on talking politics no matter how many times I tell her I don't want to discuss it due to our differences. I am far left, she is far right, and calls liberals crazy snowflakes while insisting I be open to her views.
Probably the reason I have COVID.
Since I was promoted, something feels odd. She seems more argumentative and more insistent on her own opinion when I disagree on how to handle things. Her style is aggressive, and while I respect that in a woman, I would rather handle things with a direct but gentler touch. She also refused to provide me with a tool I needed to handle a duty that came with my promotion because she said I did not have authorization and that she didn't think I would be given it. When I reached out to my supervisor to obtain authorization, she snapped at me in the email that she was already handling it and then called me to chew me out for involving my boss. It was dismissive, condescending, patronizing, and just mean. I don't know why she wants to gatekeep the authorization for this duty because she's constantly backlogged and tells people she's too busy to get them what they need while refusing to offload work to those who want to learn. I know from watching others interact with her that snapping back doesn't work, professional and courteous email replies don't work, and you can't really use reason either because she is stubborn. Asking my boss to intervene would 100% aggravate matters. I know most other people in the company have had this exact issue with her, but never ever me. Our relationship felt very special. She's always been kind and respectful in her way until now. I know something else could be going on in her life. This might not be related to my promotion at all, but what do I do?
It is.
Talking to her gives me so much anxiety, but our work requires it, and she honestly feels more like a bully now. Please help. I don't want to burn this bridge, but I feel attacked and wounded. Thanks for making my Wednesday.
It is. She's threatened by you, and you went from being her protege to a formidable opponent. So that is what has happened, and it's a shame that women do this to each other and that people do this to each other. So she was fine when you were markedly beneath her, but now that you're becoming more of an equal, she has a problem with it. Okay? So what you do, you pull her aside, you go to your coffee break, whatever, whenever you're allowed to take your 15-minute trough break, and you say to her, "Hey, can we chat for a second?" Be like, "I just want to kind of put this out there." And she'll gaslight you and she'll be like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have time." The important thing here is that you're heard. And you say, I really value our relationship and I always looked up to you and I still do. And I feel like when I've come to you or asked for stuff, you get frustrated with me or perhaps I've overstepped my bounds. I would like to know from you because I want to give you, and I always tell my listeners this, I want to give you the respect. Always say this because egomaniacs eat this up. Stupid people eat this up. I want to give you the respect of coming right to you. I don't need to involve people, and I don't want to make it look bad that we're two women who are discussing this. I want to give you the respect of saying, what's the best way for us to work together? If I need something, or if I want something, or if I'm trying to move forward and I do look up to you, what's the best way to do this? Is it emails? Or give her all the widest berth to be like, oh, I prefer this, showing her deference, being the bigger person. And she'll gaslight you and she'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have time for this. You could always just do X, Y, and Z, and then do it. Do exactly as she says. And if she becomes too insolent, then honestly, you can involve a higher up and you can let that bridge burn because you don't necessarily need her, but you're trying your best. So give it best effort and then be prepared to leave her in the dust. There's a reason at your age, you're moving up that fast.
Yeah, and I will say, you're saying, oh, she never did this to me, but you knew she did this to other people and she didn't do it to you because she thought you would be of value or that she could manipulate you or whatever. I don't think it's quite as caring as you might think it is. And maybe it is. Maybe she genuinely wants you to do well, but it sounds like now that you're not under her thumb, she's treating you how she treats everyone else. If somebody's nice to you and not nice to everyone else, they're not a nice person.
Yeah. So do what you need to do, but keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And other platitudes. I'm serious. Be like, what can I do? Be like, how do we move past this? How do we work in the same space? Do you prefer emails? Do you prefer phone calls? You're always saying how busy you are. So here we are. We're trying to offload some of this work. She won't appreciate it, but at least you're being direct. Don't. And I would just say these things. You could put it in an email, but part of me is like, if you say it, then there's no way to misinterpret stuff. And then if she's a bitch, be like, fine, I'm going to leave you in the dust.
Yeah. Just go back to your own supervisor because it sounds like she really doesn't need to have much to do with it.
Yeah. And be willing to walk away from that friendship. It's not really a friendship. Also, that language is completely unacceptable, particularly at work. Snowflake crazy people. So, she doesn't sound like the brightest person, but there is nothing scarier than an angry, stupid person who thinks they're smart. I think it's the most dangerous person in the world. Are stupid people that think they know all the angles, that don't know what they don't know.
Okay. Not a question, but wanted to say how much I love and appreciate the pod and what you bring to it. I came across this wacky holiday and that of the sweet snow peach. July 10th is Don't Step on a Bee Day, and I pray she never steps on another bee, let alone two in the same day ever again. So it is July 10th.
Praise be.
Don't step.
Praise be.
And she hasn't since.
I would take it a step further and save a bee. Don't just not step on it. We need to be doing all we can. Although I do feel bees are getting dumber. This morning, a bee was circling my coffee and it just landed right in the coffee and started to die. So I spilled out the coffee, rinsed him off. I'm like, why would you land on something brown and liquid? It wasn't even water. Anyways, I saved him.
They're having a tough time.
Is today the 10th? Oh my God, I saved a bee. And I didn't step on him.
There you go.
Praise be.
Now you have good luck for the whole year. Good bee luck.
I could use some. Starting now.
Hey, Iliza, I have a question. Okay. I'm a 32-year-old woman dating a man that is 58. We have been together for 6 years, and he is great. He's clean, a great cook, successful, kind, communicative, lets me be my own person, etc. But with one problem, the sex. He's a super routine guy. He only wants to have sex on one specific day of the week, Sunday. He barely puts any effort into it at all now, and it seems like he's just trying to get it over with. At the beginning of the relationship, it was really great, spontaneous, and he actually did all the stuff I liked, but it's gotten so boring now. Who the hell wants to have scheduled weekly sex with someone who seems like he's not into it and never initiates? I'm not used to this at all. Past boyfriends have had the opposite issue where they won't get off of me. What would you do in this situation? I've talked to him about it several times, and he always says he'll do something about it, but never does. Thanks. Now, this follow-up. Also,
he died.
Why do people shit on the age difference thing? A lot of people have said really hurtful comments to me about it in the past, like I'm just in it for the money, even though I make as much as he does, or that's disgusting, or he's going to die before you, and they laugh in my face about it. I don't understand how they can support the whole love is love movement with everyone else while simultaneously shaming people like me for being with the person I love. It's like I met him when I was 10, and I feel like everyone after a certain age is kind of just all the same, you know?
You look,
okay.
Hold on. You didn't meet him when you were 10, but it wasn't long after. And
20.
She met him when she was 26 and
26 and 52. So
she met him at 26.
32 and 58.
Right.
Yeah, and he was 52.
Right.
This problem you're having is related to the age difference. That's why people...
Right. Hold on. Before we answer all that, the answer is he has low testosterone. That's what it is. This is men get older and they lose testosterone. He's suffering from low T. This is a medical diagnosis he needs to deal with. And that is why he has less of a sex drive. It has nothing to do with you. And this is something that happens to men as they get older. It's not all men, and it may not even be him. But that's what this is, okay? And if he doesn't want to address it, then that's the way it's going to be. As far as the age difference goes, look, I don't know you. I don't know him. My bigger issue is that we are very okay when, oh wait, you know what? No, that makes sense. I was like, we're very okay when it's a guy with a younger girl, but somehow you saying you like it, it's disgusting. But if he likes you and we're his friends, somehow we're like, well, she just must be young and hot. I don't really care about that. My bigger issue is making sure that you're happy with this. And the answer is he has low T and he probably doesn't want to talk about it, but he needs to see a physician and like take supplements or whatever the proper course of medication is for that.
And I will say after a certain age, like an age difference doesn't matter that much. Let's say you're like 70 and 80. Sure. I don't think it's gross, but I think 26 and 52, 32 and 58 are pretty different life stages. Yeah. If you are on the same page about kids and retirement and everything, great. But I think that's kind of the sticking point. And I'm sure people do make stupid jokes, but they'd be making stupid jokes about him for another reason if he was your age.
I think you're okay with that. You're asking me why people are awful because typically you are, like Emily said, the reason they make jokes is because it doesn't really make sense. Usually that relationship works because here's an older guy with money and there's actually nothing wrong with this. He has the resources to do stuff. You're young and you want to do stuff and it's mutually beneficial. Let's say you really do love each other and these are the bodies you're in. Who fucking cares? The bigger issue is what this will drive you apart because being in a sexless relationship and not being the same age, having had decades of sex, that's going to be really tough for you. So get a physician involved.
Yeah. Have you had a conversation with him about why it's like only like at what point did he say no, only Sundays? Like on a Friday, you tried to initiate and he was like, no, Sunday is our day. Like, was that even a conversation or just you've picked up on a pattern? Like he only likes to have sex after you guys go to church? Like, has a conversation been had here or have you just kind of assumed this is his schedule?
Sunday's also the end of the week. So it seems like he's just pushing it off. Like Sunday at 10 p.m. That way we don't have to think about it for the next week.
Free for the week. Yeah.
Yeah. See a doctor. That's it. And then go from there.
Hi, crew. I'm a bride-to-be in just a week, the 16th of July, and my friends have not thrown me a bachelorette party yet. Ooh. I know there is still time, but I'm currently feeling so depressed about this. I have 5 bridesmaids, and they have not been having to take any part in planning the wedding since most of my friends live a few hours away by car. I've also paid for all their dresses and I'll pay for them getting their makeup done.
Whoa.
I've also been super chill about them not having to wear the dress I picked for more than the ceremony, and they get to choose their hair and makeup themselves. The only thing they have to pay for themselves are getting to the wedding and their accommodation, but that would maybe be $250 tops each, and that's pushing it. Is it okay for me to be mad about this, and should I bring this up, or am I just an entitled bride?
I think it's kind of, they might be like, hey, you said this was okay. Did they come to you and they were like, we don't want to wear these dresses?
So her concern is less, she's like, I've been chill about the dresses. I've paid for that. I've paid for this. I've been chill about all of it, but they haven't planned a bachelorette party.
I'd be interested to know what you've allowed thus far. And also remember, and women do this, like they're not mind readers. So if you were chill and it was never a conversation, they're going to be like, well, we didn't know you want it. Did you say, hey guys, where's my party? Is anyone planning this? Or did you assume one person just secretly does it? Because what normally happens is the maid of honor and you kind of plan it together, but she takes hold of it. So I don't know that it's their fault. And do you even have a maid of honor? Did you express interest in this? I think you're kind of like compiling a case against them. But if you've been okay with everything, then I think that's just the mistake that you made. I also would drop all these bridesmaids. They sound boring.
I just think, you've kind of let everything be pretty chill. And unless you have a maid of honor and said to her, I'd love to have some sort of, I know everybody lives a few hours away, but I'd love for us all to try to get together for something. Like, yeah, they might have all assumed someone else was doing it. Like, I think it just, we assume that bridesmaids and maids of honor and stuff are going to do so much.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff doesn't just happen by magic. It takes money and time and planning, and like the world's falling apart. Like, I don't think anyone, unless maybe you're not close to any of them. Maybe they all like can't drive in. Maybe they're all neurosurgeons.
I think you were hoping that secretly they were planning something. And if you want it to happen, then I suggest you get them all on email and be like, hey guys, or get the maid of honor and be like, are we doing anything? I would like to. Can somebody plan that? Ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sound the most
might
involved,
now be,
but don't fault them for not reading your mind.
By the time this comes out, she'll be getting married this weekend.
Okay.
Do you do a post-wedding bachelorette, or is it kind of like,
you absolutely
we missed the boat?
No, you absolutely can't, because to be honest, it's not like you were going to do anything at the bachelorette party that you couldn't do after you got married. You're like, I was going to fuck 10 dudes, each with a blindfold. Like, you can still party and celebrate. You probably won't want to because you'll be married and you'll just had wedding. You will just have had a wedding. But yeah, they can't be mind readers. Let us know if you asked for it and they ignored it, though.
Yeah. Hi, AIA team. This is from Katie. I will probably be in the car with my husband. You answer this question, so no need to stay anonymous. Haha. Okay. Hi, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
I have been such a huge fan of Iliza for a long time, and recently my husband has become a big fan of the pod.
Fuck yeah.
We save up episodes
Welcome.
so we can binge listen during our monthly road trips, and always have to stop between questions to discuss thoroughly. Lots of great conversation starters. I love that.
That's so cute.
I love that they're hearing a question and then they're like, what would we say? The opposite of probably Iliza and Emily.
What would Katie and Rolf say?
Here's my question. Recently, my husband made the comment to me that I don't like any of his friends. He isn't entirely wrong. Friends that he made prior to meeting me just aren't the kind of guys I would choose to be friends with. I know that I don't have to be friends with them, but I would like to be able to visit with people without feeling like it's a chore. Any advice for how to get over their grating personalities and be more receptive when we see them? Context. Husband and I are both in our early 30s, have been married for 4 years, and are both active duty Army. As a result, our interactions with his friends are few and far between, which is why I want to make sure I'm making the most of my husband's limited time with his friends when we are able to see them in person. My husband thinks that I dislike them because of immature personalities, but I'm not sure if that's exactly it. We are planning to see a number of them during our winter leave this year, so I have some time to prepare. Thank you and love the pod. We were supposed to come see you in Vegas this October, but we had some training days change and now have to miss the show. Looking forward to the next time the timing works out.
Well, I can't answer for you why you don't like them, but I also wonder, you've been married for 4 years, so I wonder, did you meet them when you were a teeny bit younger and you got
I did.
No, the girl, like when she was introduced to them. And did you get a bad impression? Do they remind you of when you were younger and you've matured? You need to get to the root of what it is. It could just be they're not great dudes and they're immature. Maybe they're not married also and you just don't get along. These things are fine unless they've done something awful. Like, the guy sexually assaults women or he's a piece of shit or whatever. You can be civil and that's it. I don't think a ton is required of you as the wife. They're there to see him. They don't actually care if you're there. They really don't. And
I think
I'm not
tough
done
part.
chirping at me. And you're there. And so there's a way to be civil. Is there a way to find the good in them? But I'm saying the first, because you're even in this question, you're like, I don't think that's quite it. So I think you need to figure out what it is you don't like about them. And ask your husband what it is that he does like about them. And he'll give you a dumb boy answer like, well, actually, no, it's the military. I mean, these dudes could have saved your husband's life. You don't know what they did. So who knows?
It sounds like every time they hang out, it's because they are traveling to see them. So these aren't casual hangs where the guys come over and her husband and the guys eat some chips and dip and she can maybe dip in and dip out. It sounds like they're going and staying with these guys, visiting these guys. That's a higher pressure situation than just the bros coming over. So you're just at a disadvantage there. When you're in their territory, they really want to see your husband. You're also there. it's just a weirder situation that where you can't just let them hang out. Otherwise, I'd say like have your husband go hang out with them without you. But it sounds like you only see them when you go travel, and that's I'm just
a girlfriend? Is there a wife? Is there some female energy that you can hang out with? Are there any? It can't be all of them you don't like. But again, we really can't answer this until you figure out and verbalize what it is you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's two options. There's the version where they suck and they're the wrong vibration, and your husband's like, yeah, well, we finger painted together in 4th grade, which is code for something else. Or there's the version where you're being a pill and a stick in the mud. You know, it's okay if they're different, but if they're bad, it's, but it doesn't cost you much to just like have a beer, hang out, and just let it all kind of wash through you. So we got to know. We got to know why you don't like them.
Top of the cup.
A tip of the tip.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
My bottom is I'm sick of babies in movies. I'm sick of every movie being about somebody trying to have a baby or a baby changes them or a kid changes them.
Totally.
That has happened in the new Thor. So many movies are like, this woman can't have a baby and now she has to rediscover herself. Or there's a new kid. A lone wolf meets a child that they have to raise and it changes who they are. I'm so bored of it. I'm sick of it. It happened in Logan. I'm just sick of that as every plot point in every movie. I'm so bored of it.
As a woman, everything I read for is like, this woman wants to have a baby. One last hurrah before she has a baby. As a woman who's had a baby, I don't want to hear about babies. I find it so pejorative and so one note that everything is about, oh, my eggs. No, we don't want this. It is so fucking personal and gritty. And if you don't have to deal with it, why? Like, if you're a 25-year-old girl, like, why would you ever want to hear about someone freezing their eggs? If you were a 35-year-old girl, why would you want to hear about menopause? And it's not fun. These are sacred things. I completely agree. Every movie that's offered to me is like, when her ovary falls out, she takes one last girl's weekend to save her egg and maybe adopt. Is she a good enough? Like, what? Guys are getting to make movies like Pineapple Express. They're going to foreign countries. They're getting kidnapped. There's tigers, and women are like, will I be a good mother? Like, it's enough. We can do more. Okay. That's my bottom of the cup, too.
That was my bottom. I think your bottom is that you have COVID.
Yeah, I got COVID real bad. COVID real bad. My bottom. COVID and everybody else is fine except for me, and it's just sucking minutes of my life away. It's so fucking boring. Top of the cob. What's your top of the cob?
I love leaving an Etsy review. I love getting a nice, fun little thing and then leaving a 5-star review and saying, this was nice and fun. Thank you to this person.
I like that. I like a positive review. I like putting positivity. Here's a little top of the cob. So 2 weeks ago, before I was Typhoid Mary, Noah and I got in bed and we like heard about this restaurant that was awful. And Noah, of course, always has like restaurateur insight. So we went on Yelp. Okay, here's what it was. Chili's is offering sushi. I'm blanking on the name that they're doing it. But they're offering sushi. And it's really cute packaging. But we're like, there's no way this is good. And when you go on Yelp, I think it was Chili's. I'm pretty positive it's Chili's. When you go on Yelp, all the reviews are terrible. All of them were like 1 star. This food was horrible. I got like the fish was warm. This is super gross. So we started enjoying, sort of affirming. We already knew it would be gross, reading all the bad reviews. And then somehow we got into this thing about looking up people who give a lot of Yelp reviews. Because I'm like, who is this person? Because there are people like they make it their lives and they get the badges. We notice a lot of people that give a lot of reviews either give like all 5 stars and they are rating everything. Like a 7-Eleven, a water fountain at LAX. Like it's either 5 or 1. Anyways, stumbled upon this one girl who reviewed like a cute mom and pop breakfast shop in the Valley. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was kind of annoying because she gave it 1 star and she was this blonde white woman. And she was like, 1 star eating there. And she goes through like what they ordered. She's like, we both ordered the breakfast skillet. And then when my friends came, his had bacon. My friend is Muslim and we said no bacon. And I was like, you wrote this just so you could tell everyone that you have a Muslim friend. And by the way, like, it's a mistake. It's not an assault on all things holy. Plenty of Jews don't eat pork. And but she made it as if, like, just by writing, like, and he's Muslim. It's like, he's not deathly allergic. Like, you'll be fine. What I loved was, but I'm like, all right, whatever, that sucks. Because the restaurant can respond. And the manager wrote, hey guys, I remembered you came in. This 1-star review isn't fair. We comped your entire meal, as I recall. And like we comped your meal and his meal. So when you come back in, like, ask for Eric next time. Like, that's so fucked up to like make a mountain out of a molehill, and you got the meal for free, and you still gave them a bad review and didn't say anything about how, and for a mom and pop place, like, fuck you.
Yeah, you got the wrong food. It's like, unless you had said, hey, actually, like, I don't eat bacon, can you get me a new one? And they went, fuck you,
exactly.
And shoved a piece of bacon up your nose.
Spelled
and like,
it
why
out
are you leaving a bad review?
in bacon on the dish. Like, the fact that my friend is Muslim, like, wow, you're so open-minded. Look at that. A white person with a Muslim friend. You deserve everything. Get out of here. What a bitch.
2 comped meals.
Yeah, the whole thing was comped and you still left a bad review. Like, you're the reason everything's broken. People like you.
Yes, this Yelp review.
I loved it. Made me want to go there. And I'm going to ask for Eric and be like, I'll eat that bacon.
Can I have all the bacon other people don't want?
You're just so fucked up.
Eric.
I was like, you went from being like this, like, look at me. I can't be a Karen. I have a Muslim friend, to being the biggest Karen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I'll see you, what will we call it? Southeast, Midwest, Southeast, Indianapolis, Louisville, and Nashville this weekend. And then coming up, Cleveland for that big taping on July 23rd. Yes, you should make a trip out of it.